Today, folks, I got another gem for you, I think. We're going to go through another planning for retirement mistake. Very common mistake. It's on including all of your expenses. For 2 years, I served as a retirement coach, talked to over 300 clients. This was a extremely common mistake. I'm going to walk you through it using a software package. Okay. First of all, my name is Joe. I retired 5 years ago. I'm currently 59. I'm walking through my journey, uh, planning to retire, making the decision to retire, and then 5 years later, what am I thinking about? What am I reflecting on? What should I have done different to hopefully plan or hopefully help you plan for your retirement, maybe even retire just a little bit earlier because you have confidence. So let's get started here. I'm going to share my screen. You're not going to see my face large anymore. All right, that should you should be able to see my new retirement software package. Okay, let's get rid of something here. Okay, you should be able to see the software package. I'll talk about it in a second. But this is what I use. This is my retirement plan software. I use this. If you ask me what my retirement plan, it is New Retirement. Now, this is a dummy account that New Retirement gave me for training. I have purchased New Retirement for the last 3 years. Big fan. So let's walk through the setup of this individual. This is a married couple, 62 years old. They just retired this month. It's March 1. They just retired. And let's look at their assets. Okay, they've got $1 million in 4 accounts. Okay, $600,000 in tax advantage accounts. Here's your traditional IRA, $500,000. Your Roth IRA, $100,000. And when you drill into these, you can see rates. You put in rates of return like, hey, optimistic 10% here, pessimistic 5% here. That's important, perhaps for another video. But you put what kind of, that would probably be an all stock portfolio that they're looking for out of their IRA. Then here's a Roth, very similar return. I'm on average returns over here. And you can get real familiar with this real quick. And I know this screen may look busy to you, but it gets real simple with use. All very intuitive. Then on tax, after tax accounts, got a brokerage account where we got $200,000 in it. Lower rate of return, if we get into that, that's 5% optimistic, 3% pessimistic. This may be like a bond fund, just standard bond fund, kind of like when I talk about buckets, that'd be bucket 2 stuff for me. And then high interest savings account, maybe some CDs, money markets, another $200,000, and a little lower rate of return expected there. That's not the subject of this video. But then when we go to their home and residence, they live in Indiana along with me, $400,000 house they own completely, no debts, income. Let's take a look at, they're taking Social Security now. You got, they're 62, 1,500 each coming in. Got a pension here, just to add another twist, Joe's pension. $1,000 a month coming in on a pension. You could add that. You can add any annuities and any windfalls, like if you have a life insurance, if one of you dies at 80 and you got a life insurance policy on them and you want to put it 80 years old, you got this windfall coming in. You could do that right here. So that's on income. Then we go to expenses. Their expenses are $5,000 a month. And this is the focus of this video. So I'm going to open this up. And you'll notice that I got living expenses here, $5,000 a month. But I also have some go-go year spending, which are, hey, what are you going to do in retirement? What are you going to do? And from your current age, 62 to 75, I call those the go-go years. 75 to 80, I call the slow-go years. So I got some slow-go spending in here. Both of these are zeroed out. 0 go-go, 0 slow-go. And then I'm going to talk about this one later. So I won't talk about it now. It's currently 0. But just keep in mind, $5,000 a month expenses, that's $60,000 a year is what they had. No one-time expenses. Okay, that's That's all the input, okay? So let's go look at the overview of the plan. And this is a Monte Carlo simulation over here. You can see as I move my cursor, it gives year by year what's in the savings accounts. And the light green line says, hey, if we get a fixed return of whatever, like under average, say it's 7.5%. If you get that fixed 7.5%, this is what your nest egg is going to grow to. And this darker line is what the worst 10% looks like in the Monte Carlo simulation. So this person or the couple never ran out of money. Okay, now there's a whole bunch more charts in here, like what are your savings accounts here? I mean, savings accounts balances by year, what it's in. Is it in a Roth, the retirement, IRA, the savings accounts into brokerage accounts, shows how it's growing, what your contributions and returns. Here's your withdrawals. RMDs are in there. I mean, anything you can look at, it's in there. But I want to focus on expenses. So we're up here, we're looking, and remember their expenses, they put in a $5,000 a month. You may say, hey, a 96% probability of success. Great, we're in good shape. Oh, but then a second party like me would sit down and say, no, wait a second. You're retiring. Are you planning on doing anything in retirement? What are you retiring to? And they'll say, oh, we're planning on doing some traveling. Okay, is that in your $5,000 budget? No, that's our base spending budget. That's normal living, normal, not much travel, but traveling, a few weekends here or there, but not really. We want to do some really neat stuff in our go-go years. Okay, so I'll come in here, go-go years. How much you want to spend? And they say, let's put in $1,500 a month, or that's $18,000 a year. Maybe a trip to Europe, maybe a cruise, trip to Alaska. Let's just do that all the way until I'm 75. So 12 years. Okay, so we'll put in $1,500 a month there. Put in whatever you want. This is just for illustration. And then we're going to go into slow go spending. So once you're 75, things start to slow down, 75 to 80. Let's cut that in half. Let's put in 750. Save that. Okay. So then we got this is what we're going to do in retirement. Go, slow go spending. So what about one-time expenses? Oh, well, yeah, we got to replace a car. Well, I'm going to put in $50,000 for a car, put in whatever you want. And that's going to be in a few years when I'm 66. You could change this, but I'm just putting in a replacement car. Now, any other one-time expenses? Yeah, we got to put in a new furnace in a few years. Okay, well, let's go up 5 years. That's when you think it is. Okay, new furnace. Let's put in $10,000 for a new furnace. Just demonstrating the tool and what you need to think through on expenses. Okay, what about a new roof? Oh man, need a new roof on the house. Need that in a few years. We're going to put in, another, well, let's put 12,000 in for a new roof. And folks, you can continue this out. Maybe another 10 years, you want a new car in there. Maybe 15, you want to remodel the kitchen. My point is, you got to think about one-time expenses, and they'll show up in your savings account as an expense will show up rather, and then your savings account may have a little dip. So now we have these 3 one-time expenses, and we have go and slow go spending. So that's realistic. We were at 96% probability of success. Let's see what happens here. 62. 62%. Now, I'm not trying to scare you with this, but that's not a good number. I don't feel comfortable at all at 62. I'd feel more comfortable at 85, but the 96 was an illusion. That was an illusion based on what they were retiring to. Now, let me do something fun here for you. This is interesting. Okay, you'll call it. So we're like, oh my gosh, those are real expenses we want to do. Maybe we can cut them down a little bit, but can we do something else? Let's go into Social Security. Okay, and let's change Social Security from making it now. And this is what you can do with new retirement. Okay, we're not retaking it now. We're going to take it at 70 instead of 62. and bumps up the payment. And then my spouse, and this is not really me, but this is an example. Um, no, they're going to bump that up and take it at 70. And that's the only change I made. So it was a 62% probability of success with Monte Carlo. All I did was change time and Social Security, 62 to 93. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you when to take Social Security. I'm telling you, make sure that you have your expenses right. Okay. What are you going to retire to? Are you planning on travel? What kind of hobbies you got? What are realistic numbers to put in there? Put in your one-time expenses. I just put in 3. You probably need 6 or 8 of them because you may need another car in 15 more years. You got a wedding you're paying for. Maybe you're going to downsize your house and you're going to have a windfall of $200,000 come in. Try to be accurate with that. So I got one more thing I'm going to show you is I got this, we moved Social Security to 70 now for both individuals. We're at 93%. Okay, now one of the things I like in expenses, and this is something I do every month, I'm going to go to recurring expenses. Remember, it was 93% probability of success. I'm coming back to make it fail spending. And this makes me feel confidence to spend. It's easy to come up with a plan that works. Okay. You can change the interest rates, change your expenses, you can make it work. But now I got a decent plan here. Now I'm going to try to make it fail. And this is starting now. I'm going to spend, let's say we spend an extra $500 a month for our lifetime, higher than that 5,000 base. Add up 500. Let's save that. And let's look at the overview. It went from 93 to 71. Okay, so 500. We got to be careful if we get above 500. So I'm going to go down to, no, that's income. I'm under expenses. That tells me maneuvering around here, it's a little more complicated than it looks when you're viewing. So make it fail. I think it failed at 500. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to make it 5, but let's make it 300. Let's try a 300 in here. My overview of plan. Oh, we're back up to 82. 82 is a little bit lower number, not a bad number. It fails 10% of the time out here when we're 81. So what I wanted to show is you got to get real with expenses. What are you retiring to? Your go-go years, your slow-go years, your one-time expenses. This plan is a little bit tight. If they're $5,000 a month, if that jumps up to 5,500, it fails pretty quick. So you gotta watch. If you go over by 500 one month, you really got to look in the next couple months, how are we going to capture that back? It's pretty sensitive. But what I wanted to demonstrate is not only do I get expenses right, and I was able to fix it with a lever of Social Security, but I also want to look at how it fails. By knowing that, it gives me confidence to spend money, knowing that, hey, if I had to replace a hot water heater, as long and it's $1,000 or something like that, I can handle that within the budget and still be okay. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show today. Very common to see a retirement plan that does not have their expenses worked out. And I'm going to go to here to stop sharing. The number one problem I see is fuzziness and around expenses. You got to get detailed around your expenses. That, to me, that's as important, if not more important, than your rates of return. I talk to people that spend a ridiculous amount of money each month, and that they can do that, but knowing your expenses is critical to making a software package like this work. This is new retirement. It's the gold standard, especially for taxes. I'll make another video on that. I've made a couple on it, but taxes, it just goes by year, helps me with Roth conversions. I may buy a car 1 year versus another year because of the impact on my taxes, the amount of money I have to pull out of my 401k for that. But Get a free 2 weeks of this software package by hitting the first link below. To me, if you're going alone, you need to use something, and why not use the best? Free 2 weeks. It's $120 a year. After that, somebody left in the notes, it's like 20% off now, and they were paying 96, so $96 to be able to stress test your plan, solve your plan. Um, Priceless to me. There you go. It's Joe out.